Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to This Just In. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, we are going to do a deep dive on Corsair. That is definitely one of my favorite stocks, so I wanted to give you my thoughts on where I see it going, as well as my Corsair stock price prediction for the end of 2021 and 2022. So let's jump right in. All right, guys, before we get started today, subscribe to the channel for me. Hit that little bell so you get notified every time I post. There's also a link down in the description to my Patreon account. Come over and join the family. You know, if you want to be part of just an awesome community, really a tight-knit family. That's what we are. You'll get access to the private Discord where we talk stocks. You'll get links to 5 portfolios so you can see exactly what I invest into. And then anytime I buy or sell a stock, up to the second I do it, I send out a notification so you can follow along. I also send out a lot of like high value swing trade setups, or anytime I map a chart or I've got a watch list. I've also got a lot of like education over there, a ton of books, and just a ton of knowledge that can really help you become a better investor. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to be a part of the day one squad, you know, grow the family with us, come check it out. I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. Day one squad, I love you guys more than anything. Thank you so much for your support. To all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Dad, I love you more than you will ever know. We had an awesome lunch today, and I just wanted to say thank you to all the dads out there. We love you. And, you know, kick back today. We're going to go do a deep dive into Corsair, what I like about them, you know, where I see them going. We're going to talk about the video game industry. We're going to look at the competition. We're going to look at the chart. I'm going to give you my Corsair stock price prediction. We're going to do a deep dive. So let's jump right in. Guys, first thing I want to touch on is just Corsair as a whole. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at the website. Then we're going to go over some video game and streaming numbers, because I've heard way too many people out there saying that video games dead after the reopening, and the pandemic made it, you know, propped it up, and the reopening is going to come and it's over. That nonsense. Nonsense. All right, guys, let's go. For those of you guys that do not know or that are new to the channel, video gaming is like my favorite industry to invest into. And I'm not even a big video game player. Like, I play video games, but not like extensively. And you know, I have a gaming PC, but video gaming is definitely one of my favorite to invest into. I love the iGaming, just video game stocks in general. I just love everything about them. So this is Corsair. For those of you guys that do not know, I honestly thought like everybody knew what Corsair was. For some reason, like, I asked my buddy about him the other day, was telling them about this Corsair stock last night, and he's like, I've never heard of him, and he's a gamer. So I guess not that many people know about him. So let's go through the website. So what they are, guys, is they are a PC component company. At least they started as that. So they were founded back in 1994. And to date, they have shipped over 200 million gaming and streaming products to like 75 different countries. Currently, they have a market cap of just under $3 billion. You know, when the stock price fluctuates, it goes a little over 3 billion, a little under 3 billion. It's right at 3 billion. But in their trailing 12 months, they've done almost 2 billion in revenue and almost 150 in net profit. So that's why I love this stock right there. I mean, just that right there, that they're a $3 billion market cap and they've almost done 2 billion in revenue in their trailing 12 months, and we're halfway through the year. Beautiful. Guys, this company has literally spent the last few years just strategically acquiring, you know, other companies, making acquisitions, just really building themselves into this, you know, this company that can really accommodate like anybody from like the casual, you know, day-to-day gamer or person working from home, all the way up to like the top level streamers, the top level competitive video game, you know, players. And competitive gaming is growing rapidly. Like, you know, they just built that whole stadium for competitive gaming. You know, streaming is one of the fastest growing subcategories for entertainment in the world. But to kind of give you an idea, these are the companies right here that they acquired. As you can see, they did Elgato, which is they do streaming products. So like you can see right here on Streaming Gear, you know, they've got all these different options. So the Elgato, you know, acquisition will help them accommodate the streamers, the people that are trying to take their, whether they're content creators or Twitch streamers or whatever they are, that helps them corner that market. The Origin is custom pre-built PCs and laptops, so gaming computers. And Scuff Gaming is those custom controllers that have the paddles on the back and you can mod them out and things like that. So those two acquisitions right there, Origin and Scuff, helps them corner the console market and pre-built gaming PC market. That is a huge part of the video gaming industry because you have the casual gamers that just want to go buy an $800 PC because they want to get into PC gaming, and they can build the $3,700, $10,000 PC as well. And then the Scuff Gaming for the, again, either super competitive controller player or the casual gamer that just wants a more casual controller. And then Gamer Sensi. This is one of the leading esports coaching platforms in the world. They coach people on how to be better video gamers. You go to their website, you check out which game you want to be better in, or you want to learn, and they will partner you up or pair you up with some of the best video game players in the world to teach you how to play Fortnite and League of Legends and all these different games. So those four categories right there are literally positioning Corsair to dominate as not only a PC component company, but also this is a very similar thing to what Nike did way back in the day, how they really cornered the whole sports and apparel market with all of these different, acquisitions and verticals to get them ingrained in that, whole life of sports. I see Corsair doing something very similar. Over the last few years, they have just, sat there and just raked in the, just piled up the money so they could make acquisition after acquisition after acquisition to really just expand and dominate those different verticals. So again, guys, let's kind of take a look through the website. As you guys can see, they've got a ton of different really cool products. They've got keyboards, headsets, everything from RGB fans to software to, lighting, microphones, custom, gaming keyboards, headsets, mice, mouse pads, they've got it all. And they've got a very cool brand with very cool products. I am in love with this company. I want them to sponsor me on my YouTube channel and give me all their gear so I can rock it. So if anybody has an in with Corsair, just tell them to hit me up and, I'll promote their products. Okay, guys, this is what I want to go to next, the live gaming stream trends. Guys, I am so done hearing people say that streaming and gaming is done after the pandemic. Just look at these numbers, guys. Daily stream, this is Q1, by the way, for 2021. So you would think that, we've kind of been into the reopening a little bit. Daily streaming hours watched increased 80% year over year. So right as we were getting into the pandemic, Q1 2020 to Q1 2021, this is just insane. And now you've got Twitch, you've got YouTube gaming, Mixer, Facebook gaming. Take a look at this. Live streaming audiences continue to skyrocket into 2021. Audiences watched an average of 97 million hours of live streams a day, an 80% increase since 2020, and 139% increase since 2019. 2021's first major viewership spike was driven massively by a new popular video game called Rust and its role-playing servers. The servers featured some of the most popular streamers in the gaming industry, like Shroud, Myth, a lot of these other guys. On January 24th, Q1 hit a peak of 121 million hours watched, driven largely by the Mobile Legends Bang Bang World Champion Finals. Guys, competitive gaming is literally giving people careers. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard of that kid named Booga that was a 16-year-old kid and won $3 million at the Fortnite World Cup a few years back. There's kids that are literally becoming millionaires and building entire careers out of competitive gaming. It is just continuously getting bigger and bigger. Like I said, they built that stadium. More and more streamers are entering to the platform. They're all getting online. Guys, I almost didn't start my YouTube channel because I thought I was too late, which, obviously if I would have started 5 years ago, it would have been a much different story, but I still started it. It's not too late. I mean, it's just getting bigger and bigger. I have so many people on my channel that, they're all over the world. So let's take a look at the next thing. So hours watched, guys, check this out. 8.8 billion hours watched. Like, that is absolutely insane. And obviously Twitch dominates, a big majority of those numbers. The Western game streaming platforms reached 8.8 billion hours watched this quarter, a year-over-year increase of 80% compared to Q1 2020. The greatest increase came from Twitch, which generated 6.3 billion hours watched in Q1 2021, a 97% increase from the prior year. Live hours watched on YouTube gaming increased from 1.1 billion to 1.4 billion, making it the second most watched live streaming platform. So guys, as these newer platforms are coming out, YouTube, Facebook streaming, Mixer, they're all going to be continuously marketing. So they're going to reach a bigger audience and it's going to get more competitive. They're going to do cooler things to keep people on their platforms. I just see streaming and things like this. I see the pandemic is what lit the fire. It's what brought a lot of people that used to be gamers and maybe grew out of it back to it. Guys, this is the way I see it is my generation, right? I'm 28 years old. Like the generation right before me, like in their, like the people in like their 30 that are like 35, 40 right now, they didn't really grow up with a lot of like in-depth video games, right? They had, they had some video games for sure. But like my nephew that's like, 8 right here, right now, he knows how to play Fortnite like fully. Like he knows how to play video games like way better than I did when I was 8. So we are getting to the point now where kids are just going to continuously grow up with video games. A lot of the people before us didn't really grow up playing video games as religiously as these generations nowadays. So like, yes, 10 years ago, I could have seen people saying like, it won't stay like this, but you can't say that now because there's people being born every day that are born with video game controllers in their hand pretty much. Okay, next thing I want to look at this right here. Just so you know, this like 5 minutes ago, this said 4 million viewers, and it just dropped to 2.8 million, but this is how many people are on Twitch right now. The average viewers in the last 7 days, 2 million. All-time viewers peak was 6 million. Live channels right now is 100,000 live people on Twitch streaming right now. 2.3 billion hours were watched just in May, with 9 million streams in May. But guys, check this out. This is just overall Twitch growth, average concurrent viewers. But you guys can see from 2012, it's just steady. Like, wouldn't you like to buy a stock like this? Pretty much are, with Corsair. So yeah, guys, this is a cool website. If you ever want to check it out, it's twitchtracker.com. You can go see how many people are, streaming and views and all that type of stuff. Now let's get into the good stuff. This is Corsair's earnings presentation from their most recent earnings report. I think it came out in May, so last month. But check this out, guys. Video games are the new third place. I'd never even heard of third place. A third place is a space outside the home and workplace or school where people gather and communities build. Today, video games are becoming third places. Fortnite is one of the best examples of the shift to social gaming. Fortnite now holds virtual concerts for millions of players and has dedicated a space for users to party, not battle. They literally have a game mode called Party Royale where people go in there just to hang out and listen. Like, they are always bumping this hardcore dubstep music and like they have disco balls. It's insane. But guys, for those of you guys that are not familiar with this, I want you to go to YouTube and I want you to search Travis Scott concert on Fortnite and go watch it. They did an in-game event where Travis Scott literally came on and performed an entire concert in the game. And I want to say that there was millions and millions of people tuned in across the world watching that concert, right there through Fortnite. So again, guys, this is creating a third space, just like what Corsair is illustrating in this investor presentation. That is not going anywhere. I really do think the pandemic is what lit the fire and propped this up. More and more people are going to be working from home. More and more people have realized that you can create a community through the internet, just like we do in our Discord, and not have to go outside. 36% in increase in average gaming time. The average time spent playing video games is projected to increase from 1.1 hours per person per day to 1.5 hours during the next 5 years. Esports poised for growth. A growing gamer population is fueling esports. The global market for esports is expected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 11.1% from 2019 to 2024. Solid growth year over year. That's like the S&P 500, 10% a year. Now, let's take a look at the Q1 earnings. So 12 months ending March 31. So this is full year 2020. They had 84 product launches, shipped 33 million units, and had 3 acquisitions like what we looked at earlier. Now, as far as revenue goes, they had a record Q1. They did a 47% compounded annual growth rate. They did $529 million in revenue in Q1, which was 72% growth year over year. As you guys can see here, I mean, just massive growth since Q1 2019. If they can keep growth up like that, they are going to do very well. Obviously, they're not going to grow like that every single quarter. Video gaming is a little bit seasonal when new consoles come out and things like that. But I don't think, it's going to fall off a cliff like a lot of people have been saying. I mean, they raised their guidance pretty big in Q1 when they reported earnings. Now let's take a look at the gross profit. You guys can see 104% growth year over year, and $160 million in gross profit, with 480 basis points, increased on that gross profit margin percentage. So they're not only growing their revenue, but they're also growing their margin percentages as well. Same thing with their adjusted EBITDA. Guys, they almost trebled it. That's tripled. For those that don't know, that's 197% growth year over year, 7.4 times the last 2 years at 80 million adjusted EBITDA for the quarter. Guys, so not only are they making more money, but they're making more money per dollar of revenue they generate. You guys know what happens when a company makes more money, but the stock price stays flat? Because if you guys watch the stock, I mean, after they reported these record earnings, the stock didn't do anything. Don't get me wrong, they had that big Wall Street bets day where it jumped like 24% last week, but it's came straight back down since. When a stock price stays flat, but the company makes more money, the stock gets cheaper because the valuation gets better. So very nice to see there, guys. Let's take a look at the guidance. This is for full year 2021. The net revenue was 1.8 to 1.95. They jumped it to 1.9 to 2.1 billion. The adjusted operating income was 205 to 220. They jumped it to 235 million to 255 million. And then the adjusted EBITDA was 215 to 230. They jumped it to 245 to 265. Guys, they've got to be really confident to raise their guidance that much. I actually think they could end up beating their guidance. So now let's take a look. The last thing I wanted to show you was my little spreadsheet I made here with some of their competition. Guys, these aren't like exactly what Corsair does, right? They're all in the video game industry. They all do similar type things, but they're all going to have their differences. But this is kind of how I am basing my Corsair stock price prediction. As you guys can see here, though, I did Logitech. That's probably the closest competitor, to Corsair that's public on the market that I could find. I know that there's other companies out there, but I wanted to do some diversity as well. So I put Turtle Beach in here. They mainly make like headphones, gaming mics, things like that. And then Sony, that's kind of close. I mean, they make the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation, and they're kind of close. Activision, they're more of just a straight video game company. Like they develop and build video games. And then AMD, they make computer components. So kind of similar. But as you guys can see, as far as like, market cap goes, Turtle Beach is actually the cheapest in here. Honestly, on this list, Turtle Beach looks the best. Like I'm not you can see here, valuations, everything. But I wanted to mainly look at like Logitech and some of these bigger guys. Look at the shares outstanding, 92.19 million for Corsair. Market cap at 2.9 billion. Like I said, trailing 12 months revenue at 1.92 billion. And then trailing 12 months net revenue or net income, was 148 million, with a trailing 12 months free cash flow at 185 million. Look at the difference here, guys. For the market cap for Logitech, their market cap is 20.62 billion. Their trailing 12 months revenue is only 5.25 billion, with 1 billion in free cash flow. So, guys, the valuation metrics for Corsair versus Logitech honestly look a lot better. Logitech is beating them on free cash flow multiple, but these are your multiples. You've got your price to earnings multiple, your price to sales multiple, and then your price to free cash flow multiple. Look at how Corsair stands up against all of these other companies. The only other companies that beat them on PE is Sony and Turtle Beach. They're down a couple points below Logitech's. They have a better valuation on PE. Price to sales, the only one that's beating them is Turtle Beach. Like I said, 1.24. But look at Logitech's 4 points or 4 times price to sales ratio, where Corsair is only trading at 1.5 price to sales. And then price to free cash flow, like I said, Logitech is beating them, but not by much, maybe 1 point, one time. Again, Turtle Beach is doing the best on price to free cash flow multiple. But as far as the average, if you take a look at the average of all of these companies, you've got a 21.46 for your PE multiple. If you were to use that multiple based on 2022 revenue projections, the price target would be $43.13. If you use the price to sales average multiple, you'd be at $100 based off 2022 revenue. And then price to free cash flow, you'd be at $53.52. That would be an average of $65.41. If you take all three of those prices, total them up and average them out, you'd have 65 bucks. I think the most reliable here is your price to free cash flow, which is around 53, 52. That's been my price target from 53 to $55. I think that is spot on, but I actually think that that is for 2021. I think end of 2021, mid 2022, you could absolutely see the Corsair price at $53.52. So, pretty basic spreadsheet here, guys. Just wanted to kind of give you an idea of how they stack up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. So as you guys can see here, I'll try to make this quick. I know the video is getting pretty long, but guys, this is just getting stuck in this range, and it's been stuck in this range, ever since back in the beginning of March. One thing I wanted to touch on real quick, guys, I've heard a lot of people talking about market manipulation on this stock. It's a low volume, low float stock, so I can definitely see what they're talking about. I kind of think what's happening is you're getting a lot of hedge funds, a lot of big money that can really kind of tank the price rather easily because it's a really under the radar stock. It's a low volume stock, and it's low float. I mean, 92 million shares outstanding. That's not very many. What I think they're doing is they're going in, midday because of such low volume, and they're writing a ton of $35 call options. Pretty much what they're doing is they're collecting the premium on that. And then they're selling a bunch of shares either short or they're just selling, the shares outright. And then they're pushing the stock from 35 to 31. And then they're buying and covering their positions or just repurchasing stocks in general, which drives the price back up. They take the option premium and rinse and repeat and just do it over again. I've seen the stock go into after hours and tank 6% and then open up the next morning and just get a ton of shares dumped. So, it looks like to me that big money and hedge funds are trying to keep the price under that $35 mark. Like I said, you've got a ton of those $35 to $40, call options, and they're pennies on the dollar. So, it's hard to say, guys. I mean, as far as market manipulation, we all know what happens. I like I said, I think this is such a low volume stock. It's such a under the radar, low float stock. It would be easy to keep it in that range. Now, if that's happening, I have no idea. That's just kind of my theory based off of I've heard people talking about market manipulation. Whatever. I don't listen to it. I just look at the chart, I look at the fundamentals, and I make my decisions. Now, as far as I do want to talk real quick about Eagle Tree. Eagle Tree is a private equity firm that actually purchased a majority share back in 2017 of Corsair, which allowed Corsair to do all those acquisitions and expand and grow their company. They now have to reduce their position down to like 10%. They're currently at 61% stake in the company. They typically, sell shares about twice a year, where a lot of like other funds pick it up, like Vanguard and BlackRock usually pick up those shares, and then also retail investors. I don't see that as something that's gonna kill the stock price because they are gonna have to dilute, sell shares to get down to 10%. I'm not worried about that. This is a stock that I'm going to accumulate every chance I get. Like I said, I feel like it is a great stock to be a centerpiece to any really good growth portfolio, because when you look out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, I literally see this stock being very similar to a Logitech stock at $120. Like, this company is a beast. They do very cool things. They've got an awesome brand. They are cornering the market. I'm telling you guys, mark my words, mark this video, come back in 3 years. This stock will be multiples of where it is today. Like I said, guys, it's so stuck in this range. You did have a low right back here on March 5th of, $28.58. You haven't reached that low since. Like I said, you did have the double kind of bottom right here where you made those two equally low lows, but you are kind of getting some accumulation. It is getting a little bit tighter right here. When an asset comes down, it's stuck in a range right here and it hits this kind of bottom part and then it springs, you're going to get that spring back test, where it's almost coming down to the same level. Guys, right here, when it made that big pop, it had the highest volume it ever had historically ever. You are getting some negative momentum building in the stock, obviously coming off of this massive run up right here. If we can get a hold, a confirmation hold, you may get a partial decline where it doesn't come all the way back down to the bottom of the range, but it, runs back up, butts up against the top of the range and then breaks out. That very well could happen. Usually partial declines only retrace about 50% of the range. It is a little bit deeper than that, but it could still happen, right here at this point. So that is something to look out for. Like I've said before, guys, you break this area right here around this $35, $36 range, you're going to $42 and you're going there quickly. You saw how quick it went there the other day. All it's going to take is this stock to get a little bit of buying pressure behind it, a little bit more positive momentum, more people knowing about it, getting excited about it, and this stock will skyrocket. Honestly, it could stay. If it breaks out and gets in this 42 range, it could stay in this 36 to 42 range for months and months and months and months and months. You can see it just doesn't have enough buying pressure to break up through this big money that's holding it down right here at 35, because I don't see how it could be retail investors holding it down at 35. But this buy wall down here is massive. I mean, I don't see the price ever getting down below the bottom of that at $29. If it does, I'm going to buy as many as I can. Again, I dollar cost average into this stock every single week. I plan on adding and increasing that dollar cost average because I like it that much. You are getting, convergence on both oscillators, the big pop, the rundown. What we pretty much would like to see is, it stops right there. We get hidden bullish divergence. You get that partial decline. It runs up, breaks out. On a partial decline, guys, that's like an 80% chance of a breakout. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But you break out, you hit the 42, you spring back, you test it, you confirm it as support, and then you're either trapped in that range or you start running up to higher highs. Overall, guys, my price target, like I said, is that $53 mark, which would put it just barely above, this high point from back in November 2020. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any, price targets on this stock, if you agree with me, let me know down in the comments. If you love it as much as I do, let me know. Come over and join us at the Patreon. We would love to have you. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed stockbroker. Always do your own research and due diligence. Don't just take my word for it. Like the video if you get any value out of it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.